Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It's Sunday. It's Penne for your thoughts. Yes, and we're going live right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so excited. Today's going to be an amazing episode. But it's been a week. It has been a week, but we have put the work in. We have done everything we needed to do, and we are ready to give you shows on shows on shows in this crazy, ever-changing climate that is New York City, honey. Oh my gosh. I just want to say New York has been my home now for, oh gosh, too many years. Not officially a New Yorker by the rules, but a New Yorker enough because I stayed here during quarantine. And I'm noticing that there's just changes going around all in New York. So I said, well, today's episode is going to be about the way that this city is changing and the way that life for people in cities all over the country are changing. I have an amazing chef with us today. Her name is Lindsay Skye. She is amazing. You are going to love her. And we're going to talk about all these things. But I'm just like, I've had this week where I've been like watching literally the city like change around me in front of my eyes. I mean, people always talk about how rent is so high, Metro cards are so high, like public transit is expensive, and like food prices are so high. I mean, food prices have always been high, but now it's like 200% more, like twice the amount it costs to go to the grocery store. And now you have to stand in line for all of the grocery stores. And it's like wonderful, just more time for me to be sitting there scrolling on my phone. Just kidding, I'm playing Pokemon Go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing Digimon Go. I can't afford Pokemon Go. But I mean, these grocery stores have really made me want to go to the store on a rainy day for the first time because I don't have to wait in line. No one else goes to the store on a rainy day, so I might as well go. And, thank God we all made these cotton masks, these natural fibers, these breathable fibers, these absorbent fibers, so that way you can go out on that rainy day and it's okay because there's no one else out there. So you're not going to catch coronavirus, not from the door handles, not from the handles of the baskets, not from that absorbent cardboard box at the front of the shelf that you grab. No, none of that is going to get you coronavirus. It is simply about wearing that cotton mask. So totally perfect, amazing. Good for you, girl. You've done it. You are saving yourself. It is a one-trick pony here to prevent yourself from catching. I just feel like when I go to the stores anymore, that people are always looking at me and like think I'm crazy because I actually keep my mask over my face. And it's like, y'all, you think you can like walk into the store and like take it off and keep it around your neck like it's a necklace or something? Like, sis, come on. And the people, they get so close to you. Even the old people. Like, I love old people. They're amazing, but like, they do not understand this social distance thing. You've been like this when they come up. You're like, oh my God, please, no. I can't get you sick, old person. No. Like, come on, honey. Like, thank God I just pressed myself against this definitely disinfected shelf. Like, oh, that's going to save me from coronavirus or spreading what I don't know I even have. It's just crazy. But the good news is the stores now have stock again. So you can get that yeast to make your sourdough starter, which I also think is crazy because all of a sudden, New York City is making sourdough bread like it's going out of style. I felt like before Corona, everybody was gluten-free. Everybody could not eat gluten. I have an allergy. I have an intolerance. And it's like, now y'all look like Oprah on the Weight Watchers commercial, eating bread and making bread. Like, for real. What are y'all making all this bread for all of a sudden? You realize that good bread tastes good? Y'all stop wondering why Wonder Bread stinks? Like, honey, maybe we could stop buying bread that feels like a Labor Day mattress sale and like start eating some good food. Like, support your local bakeries. Stop making this sourdough. Rose and Joe's is still open here in Astoria. They the bomb. You gotta go. It's just like, I just wish people, I don't know. I think people are like, I'm like panicking. I got to live my life. I got to be, New York girl. I got to stay in New York. I got to do all the things that are on trend. And I guess the new trend is everybody's moving. And like, no shade to anybody moving. We all got to make our moves and stuff. But like, all of a sudden, everybody's like, got to get up and go. Like, I'm picking up a cat tomorrow because she got abandoned. Like, the heck is going on? Everybody all of a sudden was afraid of breaking their lease for money reasons or legal reasons, but Corona comes around and it's like, my landlord's got worse things to worry about. Yeah, your landlord's got worse things to worry about. She's 82 years old and hasn't gone outside of her house in 6 weeks because she don't want to catch the virus and die. Like, come on, y'all, you're crazy. But also, who's moving, and from what I've seen, are these rats and these mice. Like, I heard a report that like the mice and the rats are like fighting each other on the street, and you're like, because there's no trash for them to go eat. And I'm like, what is more New York than a couple of dirty, smelly, hairy creatures in shades of black and gray fighting each other over someone else's leftovers? They gotten so hungry now all of a sudden that they are moving too, and they are moving like right into your own home. Got one. Big one. Oh, I hope she wasn't pregnant. Oh, she's leaking something. Oh, I have a Lysol wipe for that. Well, at least I don't have to go buy meat this week. So we have a great show going for you today. We have Chef Lindsay Skye. She's about to join us. We are going to be making my favorite meal ever. Well, besides pasta, of course. We're going to be making pizza. So that means we have to wash our hands. So everybody, let's get going and let's wash our hands. Y'all get to the sink. Let me make sure y'all can see my sink. All right, let's wash our hands, folks. Come on. Don't mind the dirty dishes. Oh, come on, YouTube. That's it. I washed my hands. That's it. We all done. I washed my hands. I don't know all the words of this song. But I did wash my hands and I did learn the first verse. So that was pretty good for coming up with that this morning. I hope you think so. And if you think so, I made a brand new sign for you to know all about it. This is my Venmo. This is all my handles. I'm on all the social media now, all the shows. I don't know how to work this. There you go. Make sure you tip a queen and make sure you show love to our next guest because she is about to come on right now. I would say make some noise, but I can't hear you. So give it up for my good friend and fellow Dismantle contestant, Lindsay Skye.
Hey guys, hey Cissy, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're here too. Yesterday we tried to do this live stream. It didn't work because Instagram
Live did not want to cooperate with us at all.
No, not at all. Instagram Live never worked. That's why I took the show off the feed or off the platform. I had other things to put on the platform. But I ain't got time to worry about these glitches, honey. If I wanted all these glitches, I would go get like a T-Mobile phone. Like, what the heck I need?
I love how I had to break up the video because I like recorded it into 4 segments because it kept cutting out. So it's like Cissy part 1, Cissy part 2, Cissy part 3, and Cissy part 4.
Well, I'm glad you were able to at least get recordings of this. Like, shoot, I was nervous that it was going to be like so terrible in quality. Oh my gosh, hold on. Trying to put comments on here. No, I really was thinking like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like the worst quality video ever. It's not going to be good. I felt so bad because we worked so hard to make this happen yesterday. We've been planning on talking about being on going on live together. We have this great chemistry, and then all of a sudden Instagram doesn't want to work. So like forget about it.
We're not cooperating at all. And now it's like I was supposed to do a couple other lives this week, and now I'm like, I feel like I should just cancel it and try to find another platform because I'm like, okay, that's just not going to work.
You might as well find another platform at this rate. Like, come on, are you going to get on the StreamYard like I got? I love the StreamYard.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I didn't tell you this ahead of time. You have a very clean mouth. I don't have a very clean mouth, but we do have children watching, so we have to watch our mouth. So we're going to say nothing that offends my cousins. I mean, my aunt and uncle, because my cousins could care less. Did
I say anything bad?
No, you didn't. I just didn't tell you ahead of time. No, yesterday I was on the FaceTime with my cousin and she said a bad word and I was like, oh my God. And I have it recorded too because I was recording the Zoom call so I could show her my frozen number. And I was like, one day, girl, when you turn 18, I'm going to share that video with the world. Oh, man. I was like, sister. I mean, a little 6-year-old, real good listener. She comprehends everything she hears and she let it out. And we were like, all of us.
Yeah, it's always the stuff you don't want them to remember that they remember.
Oh, absolutely. But sometimes it's not even curse words you don't want them to remember. It's like phone calls that you're having on the phone that you don't want them to overhear, and then they overhear and they're like, Mom, what do you mean that we don't like our neighbor? What do you mean? I like her. Her daughter's my friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They're like
little kid.
Parrot.
Oh, always little parrots. That's what they should have named her. That's what she should be for Halloween. But she's going to be a princess or a superstar. I think I have the Shania Twain costume when I was 3 years old, still in the closet. So if she wants to be Shania Twain for Halloween, I can give it to her. Though I don't know how her family's going to feel about me introducing her to yet another queer icon, gay pop star like Shania Twain. Last week, I don't know if you watched last week, but last week we did Celine Dion and my cousins were watching and I was like, oh, amazing, great, perfect. Let's introduce them because I know.
Start them off young, you know?
That's how I started. Shoot, it was Celine, it was Shania, it was Mariah, it was a little Whitney, it was Faith Hill, like all those people started young. Sheryl Crow, young. Might as well.
See, grow into well-rounded adults. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want them to be well-rounded adults. Yeah, they have to know the catalog of music. Maybe some of these drag queens don't want to know the catalog of music, but I want my 6-year-old cousin to know the catalog of music. All I'm saying. Like, I'm not drinking alcohol yet because it is way too early in the day. And I try to give myself, have you seen that meme where it's like, you wait to drink and it's like the chalk on the sidewalk and the sun is reaching the shadow to reach the line. And when it reaches the line, you can start drinking. It's too funny.
No, but that's a really good idea. People have been saying that like all drinking rules are out the window in quarantine. I was on a Zoom with someone the other day and they were drinking wine and it was 7 a.m. So I was like, I guess there's just no rules anymore.
No rules. I mean, I have to set rules for myself. I feel like the one thing that has helped me the most is giving myself structure and consistency and routine, because otherwise, I don't know what's going on here, Mary.
Yeah, no, same. I'll still get dressed up. I'll still do my hair. I'll still like make a list of things for myself to get done. Because I feel like if I don't, I'll just kind of melt into the couch.
Yes, like if I don't put on jeans, I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm done for the day.
Exactly. People have been judging me for wearing jeans. I'm wearing jeans right now. People are like, why are you wearing jeans? You're home all day. And I was like, because it makes me do things.
Yeah, and I got to make sure I still fit into them when the quarantine's over. So yeah, I'm going to wear these jeans because I don't have money to go buy a new one. So, or I don't have the talent.
Later, though, since quarantines.
Yeah, but it's a natural fiber. We love those natural absorbent fibers. They'll stretch out. They'll take on all the moisture, spread, you know, just as you want.
I mean, I'm just really concerned about the whole like quarantine 15 thing, or like for me, it might be like the quarantine 50 because I just made myself a batch of cinnamon buns.
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna ask, like, what are you making right now? Like, what have you been cooking? For those of y'all who don't know anything about Lindsay, I'll give you a little rundown. She doesn't have just one, but 2 degrees in food, and your master's is in applied food science, correct?
Applied food studies.
Applied food studies. So, like, this girl knows what she's talking about. So, tell us, what is it that you've been making during quarantine?
Oh man, I've just honestly been using it as a time to experiment with a lot of different recipes that I feel like I normally don't have time to experiment with. Like I've just been like taking recipes that I normally have and combining them. Like I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head. Like I haven't done the sourdough. I haven't gotten on the sourdough train yet, but my roommate has.
I think it's ridiculous.
There's sourdough starters all over our kitchen. Like they're up there. They're like over here. There's like dried sourdough starter everywhere. It looks disgusting.
Yeah, I really do think sourdough starters look gross. It's like, you're kind of like, gross. Oh yeah, totally. Like, oh, no way. No, thank you. Nope, I'll pass. I mean, not that I'll pass on a piece of sourdough and like some actual bread, but like, I don't need to. I do too. I love to eat it. Don't get me wrong. And I have a guest coming on in a few weeks who just started a sourdough business, like pairing sourdough with alcohol. So it's like they're coming on, but it's like, I don't want him to act like I don't love sourdough because I do like it, but I just don't want to make it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment. And like I said earlier, the bakeries are still open. At least mine are. I know you're in Hoboken, right?
Yeah. So we have the whole takeout thing. So it's a lot like New York City where you can dine in, but you can take out pretty much anywhere. But sadly, a lot of businesses are struggling and they can't even afford to stay open for takeout. So.
Right, which is why it's like if your local bakery is still open, if your local restaurant is still open, like give them a ring and like give them a little money. You know what I mean? Like they got to stay open. These are the places that aren't getting loans. I found out this one interesting fact that the small businesses, in order to be considered a small business, you need 50 employees minimum. And it's like, look at all these restaurants and bakeries and mom and pop shops. They don't have 50 employees. And if they do, not all of them are on the books. So it's like, go support them because they're not getting any help.
Exactly. That's why it is important to try, for your own finances, to try to cook for yourself, but to also try to order out a little bit to support those businesses. And right now, what I've been doing is, even though I've been doing these virtual cooking classes.
Yeah, tell us about it.
While I've been in quarantine. So it's like people will send me recipes of things that they've been really wanting to learn how to make. And then I will guide them through the recipe. And I'm doing it 50% off what my in-person classes are.
That's literally been my life, is 50% off. Anyone who I've done a few private gigs, as I was telling you yesterday, and it's like, I've had to charge them half because like, I'm not traveling. I can't charge you for that time. I don't have to bring anything to you.
Exactly. Because, I do have to take in consideration, like there is less work that I have to do. And on top of that, I've been donating a meal per class to the shelter. And
which I think is amazing.
Like, oh, thank you. They were like, Lindsay, you're probably like making all these meals for the shelter. And I was like, no, I actually thought it would be more beneficial for me to take the money that people are giving me and buy food for the shelter from a different local business each week, because then I'm kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm making a donation to the shelter and I'm also supporting a small business.
Which is a lovely thing to do.
Thank you. So that's really what I've been doing right now, mainly just focusing on the virtual classes. Normally, I private chef for a lot of influential people around New York City. So I'm surprised we haven't bumped into each other before, but I'm so glad.
Not yet. I haven't been in Manhattan since St. Patrick's Day. So it's actually, that makes 2 months today. If it's May 17th, that's 2 months. I haven't been in Manhattan in 2 months. The last time I haven't been in Manhattan in 2 months was winter break in college. And that was less than 2 months. I was like a month, 3 weeks. Like,
really? I know, the whole city's just shut down. It's crazy.
Though I did hear, my good friend Crystal Cumdowns went to Callan Lord to get her medicine the other day, and she said that the city is like wild, especially down in the village where she was at. She said like people are out, like people are like there. I mean, I see it. I'm on Ditmars Boulevard here in Astoria, which is so beautiful. You got to come visit. Come to the park. We'll have a picnic when we can.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be so
the people, they're walking like this with each other, like you're like this and you're like, I'm trying to avoid you as best as I can. And if you ain't going to go halfway, it's like a bad relationship. If you don't like put in halfway, like it's not going to work. I could stand as close to the wall as I want, but if you stand close to me, we're still not social distancing. So, hello.
Yeah, have you been dealing with runners? I've had so many runners without masks that have.
I've seen a lot of runners without masks.
They get like so close, and it's like, I don't know, either they're gonna breathe on me or they're gonna sweat on me, but something makes me feel like this shouldn't be happening.
I mean, they make the athletic masks, you know what I mean? You can go on Nike.com and get one, or you can make one, or you can hire someone to make one. Or just use an old, buy a pack of socks. Buy a pack of socks. I see the video my mom showed me. You can like take a sock and stretch over your face. Like, easy. Come on, y'all. Get it together.
Or, you know, even if they can't do that, even if they just like pause, take the mask off, breathe for a couple minutes, like in a designated spot, and then keep running with it if they feel like it's a lot. Because I mean, I think it is important for people to work out, but like, I mean, especially now that it's getting nicer, it's like even just walking outside, I feel like I'm gonna get toppled over by someone.
Truly feel like I'm getting toppled over. Yesterday, I ran into my friends on the street, and like me and my boyfriend were here against the edge of the sidewalk, and they were on the other edge of the sidewalk, and then like we're all like talking, and everyone's just like walking right close to us in the middle, and it's like obviously we're trying to social distance. You need to do your part. Also, I feel like my 6-year-old cousins have a better understanding about social distancing than some of these folks do, but.
Oh yeah, I mean, kids have been picking up on it pretty well, actually. I've been surprised seeing that kids like know that it's like right now they need to keep a distance. Actually, it's really funny. On Mother's Day, I went to my parents' house, and my sister and her kids and her husband went there too. And they have this really big front lawn, and I was on one side, and my sister and my, you know, and her family was on the other side, and then my parents were by the door. And people were walking by laughing that I just had this one little chair by myself, sitting on the corner of my parents' lawn while everyone was like completely split.
I mean, to explain to people that like this is the new normal, it only gets so far. Everyone's got a thick head anymore, so nothing ever gets through these people.
Yeah, I mean, it did look really silly though. I have to show you the picture my sister took of me. I was like, oh, I look so good. I look like an ant in the
Is it on your Instagram? Because everyone should go follow you on your Instagram.
Oh, thank you. It's Chef Lindsay HSKY.
Yes, you got to go follow her. And tell us also in the comments what you're making for quarantine, or making a lot during your time at home. One reason why we're doing this episode today is because I think I've made pizza with fresh dough like 5 or 6 times. And my pizzeria is still open. Sorry, acid reflux. My pizzeria is still open. So it's like I'm still making pizza all the time. And honestly, I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at a yeasted dough, I think at least. Because I don't know. I think I'm good at it. I have a great recipe that we use at my job, Fresh Made NYC, and I will give them credit for that recipe because if my boss is watching, she knows people love to take our recipes all the time and never give us credit for them. And I'm sure you know what that's like too as a chef. So I've been using that pizza dough recipe all the time. It's what I'm making today is this pizza dough recipe using the same proportions really. It's pretty good. It's pretty easy. What are your tips for anyone trying to make a dough with yeast?
I guess it's really making sure that you keep tabs on the temperature and then the environment that the yeast is going to be in. Because like, and also the type of yeast that you have. So like I actually did a cooking class and I told the person to get active dry yeast and they got instant yeast. And because, as you know, instant yeast makes the dough rise faster, we had 2 different products. I mean, they both tasted delicious, but hers was a lot fluffier than mine because it had a lot more time to rise.
Right.
Well, I mean, it just rose more in general.
I made a dough this morning.
Ooh,
at around 11. Thank you. I like to keep my dough in the oven while the oven's off to rise because I always find that like dark places are better for it. So definitely like I didn't put a towel on this one and you can feel like the little bit of like
the dryness a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it'll be fine when you knead it back out or put it on your thing, but
yeah, it will be perfectly fine.
Yeah. I mean it better be fine. I'm gonna eat it regardless. So as long as it doesn't get me sick.
Sometimes it's funny because I do that too when I'm making pizza dough. I take a towel and I put it in the oven, like a wet towel, and the darkness, a little bit of heat that's in there, that's like a great environment for your dough to rise. Actually, it's funny because this morning I was making those cinnamon buns that I mentioned earlier, And it was, again, like just like a fun random thing that I was doing. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to mess around with this recipe and I'm going to let it rise for another like 40 minutes more than I would normally let it rise. So that to see how fluffy the cinnamon buns will get. And
I got a story for you.
I really like how fluffy they ended up. Like,
oh my gosh. I love cinnamon buns. Like, hardcore. Like, they're actually so easy to make. As a kid, we always used to do like the Pillsbury dough ones, where you like the container and then you just split them up and you put that really, really sugary icing over it. Like, no shame on anyone who does it, but like, they're so easy. Literally, cinnamon buns are so easy to make.
I mean, I had those too before when I was younger, so I remember, and they were delicious.
Also, like Saturday morning, your parents have worked all week. Like, they do not want to get up after sleeping in, quote, when you have little kids, that's not possible. And then start making cinnamon buns. Like, unless you are like Betty Crocker herself or Martha Stewart, I think Martha has her own people to cook for at this point. But, no one wants to do that. So that's why we're making yeasted dough for lunch. Give me a few hours to,
Yeah, a little to relax, definitely.
Yeah.
Like
have that morning.
My mom's amazing, and she's an amazing cook, but I had so many weeks as a child where it was garlic chicken, some kind of microwavable vegetable, and a microwavable rice. And you know what? I still loved it because she made it with love, and that's important.
I'll tell you, the one thing we've made so much of that I've eaten a lot as a kid, and I've made a lot of it during quarantine, and I was making it with you yesterday, was this tomato sauce.
Yes, that looks amazing.
I make such good marinara sauce. It's our family recipe. It's like so easy. I taught it on the first episode, and I can teach it like that. It's an onion, it's some garlic, it's some herbs, it's your tomatoes. It's all about the technique and the way you treat the tomatoes, which is like, that's like the type of like wisdom your nonna passes down. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She's my inspiration for cooking. You said your mom was an amazing cook.
Was that like technique? I can't think of, because like I knew you did SpongeBob reference yesterday.
Oh yeah. It's bring it around town. Now wait.
Yes.
Yeah. It's all about the technique. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Pinky up. Yeah. I live for SpongeBob. Definitely one of my favorites. Had they not done that Broadway musical, I may have done a drag parody show of it, and I still might do a drag parody show of it.
You still should. I would be so into that.
Truly, I mean, come on. That show is actually quite an interesting history to it. Did you know that it was actually meant to be an adult cartoon at first?
I heard about that, but I didn't know if that was just like some like random.
No, it's not a rumor. It was actually meant to be an adult cartoon, and then they pitched it to whoever, and they didn't take it. And then on a whim, they were like, "All right, well, we'll show it to Nickelodeon and see what they'll say." And Nickelodeon was like, "Well, we think this could be a children's show, so if you change it." And so the writing, by them making that change, the writing not only got smarter but more accessible. Right. So like now everyone can see it, which is why, regardless of whether my little kids are watching anymore, I'm not going to curse on this show because I feel like I can be smart without using the bad words. So
yeah.
Well. Also, like, evangelicals, they don't want you to do anything. So if I want that market to tune in, I got to watch my mouth. So, all right. So, you said your mom was a great cook. Is she your inspiration? Is she's like why you cook now?
So I think even though my mom and grandma are both amazing cooks, they were very much about instant cooking, but they made it with love. So what I kind of did was I put a little bit more work into what I make, but I also try to make it more simple, and I have the love into it. So I'm trying to think of how to explain that a little bit better. It's like, it's not instant food, but I still try to find simple recipes made with love, like my mom and my grandma made, that people can make for themselves and still feel like they accomplished something without feeling like, oh man, like, did I make this? Because I just, took it out of the can or the box and put it in the oven. Which, by the way, you know what? if you're a working mom or a working dad and you're busy and you have to do that sometimes, like I get it. Like I totally do. You know, it's just about just feeding your family sometimes. But
you gotta put food on the table. If the food's not on the table, it doesn't matter if you made it by hand. There's no food on the table for the kids. So, and you ever had a bunch of hungry kids? I work with the hungry kids all the time. When they get hungry, and you do not want to cross their paths. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, I try to find recipes for people that are a lot simpler that they can do and still, you know, it's still healthy, clean, and, you know.
Good. I mean, that should be what encourages people. I feel like a lot of folks think cooking is so hard, especially my boyfriend thinks cooking is so hard. It's not hard. It's quite easy. You just got to like learn what you're doing. And I think like what you're doing is fabulous. I think people should find your information, your Instagram here. I'm going to put it up so everyone can see it.
Thank you.
But everyone should follow Lindsay on all the social medias. You know, I don't know if you want anyone to be on your Facebook. I certainly don't want to be on anyone's Facebook anymore.
You mean if people just want to follow my Instagram for right now?
Go ahead. There it is. There's your ad handle. It's in the banner. Go follow.
It's actually Chef Lindsay H. Sky. Sorry.
Oh, shucks. Hold on. Let me change it again. Aspetta. Aspetta means wait in Italian. And both my boyfriend and my mom's boyfriend, when they heard that the first time, they're like, aspetta, are you cursing at me? Or aspetta. It's a dialect for aspetta, which means to wait. Yeah, I'll teach you some Italian. Aspetta is like our dialect for wait, like hold up. We have a lot of dialects. I've been meaning to teach you all Italian in these shows. I always mean to start the show by saying buongiorno tutti, but I never remember. But like Italian is quite easy. If you learn a few words, you can kind of figure it out. If you know a little Spanish, you can kind of figure it out. I mean, I've been able to understand Spanish. Yeah, I mean, I've been able to hear Spanish and like kind of understand what they're saying because I know enough Italian to get me by. So really learning languages, that's something people could do during quarantine. Go download an app and watch go learn how to learn a new language. It's very easy. Well, not very easy, but it's approachable. You could do it. No problem.
I don't know if this happened to you, but on like the first day of quarantine, I bought like $10. I bought a Duolingo subscription.
Mm-hmm.
I like printed out a million recipes. I've actually made most of those recipes, but like I read one of those books. I go for maybe like an hour. So like I got like really, really ambitious.
Yeah. All right. So hold on. I want to get something. Hold on one sec. Because we're going to show everyone real quick how to start some yeasted dough. It's so easy. It's so easy. So you're here with me. I'm going to measure my water ahead of time because I know what measurement I need. Okay. All right. So I hope this water's, it's a little cold. It's got to be room temperature, right? Room temperature.
Like right before it would be too hot for me. That's usually the right temperature where it's like the temperature that I would like shower in, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not burning my skin, but like it's really warm.
Right. I mean, yeast is a living organism, honey. You can't kill it. You can't kill it.
Exactly. And a good way to know if you've killed it is if it starts to activate. So if you start to see that, I mean, you already know this, but just like for anyone else watching, like if you start to see that it's like moving around, there's bubbles, that means you did a good job. If it like is completely flat and it just looks like a white mixture, nothing's happening.
Yeah,
it's not a good sign.
You ain't got it right. So I talk about things in parts, which I think people confuses folks all the time. I find it much easier for me because I'm like an arithmetic person. Like I just kind of do things in fractions and in algebra, like in my head all the time. So I always I take my bowl and I put the yeast and the sugar right into the bottom of the bowl to start. I only use one container. I don't use two things and mix and mix. No. I do this. So we're going to say half teaspoon of yeast and then a quarter teaspoon of granulated sugar. Now, I've heard some people do honey instead of the sugar because the yeast needs a carbohydrate to eat, right? Because yeast is alive and needs to eat something. So I use granulated sugar. Some people use honey, but I feel like if they're doing that, they need a hot water like you said.
Yeah.
And
That's a good point. That is a good point.
And then I take my water and I literally just put it right on top like this, just like this. And like it does all the mixing. You don't have to swirl it around your fork and then the yeast gets on your fork and then you're like this against the sides of the bowl. You know what I mean? You don't have to do any of that, right? So you just do it like this. I don't know. There it is. And then you just let it sit for 5 minutes till it gets nice and frothy. And then, right, so think about that. If you consider your part for yeast and for all your non-flour things to be a teaspoon, right? You need 1 part yeast and half a part sugar. That's just a proportion. No matter how big you're going to make it, it's half the amount of sugar that you do for yeast, no matter what. And then your water is always going to be half the amount of the flour that you're putting in. And your flour measurement is the same kind of part as your yeast, right? So I did a half a teaspoon of no, shoot, I think I got it. I don't know. I think it's 1 cup. No, yeah. I don't know.
It definitely makes it easier to use ratios, I found.
Definitely easier to use ratios. Maybe I'm not so good at math. Oh, well. I am good at putting clothes on. I sillily put on this, the biggest billowy sleeve I could find, as I have to have my oven on 500 degrees today. So that was a really smart idea, Cissy. Good for you, girl.
I hope everything works out with that.
Yeah, I hope I don't burn my clothes or, God forbid, this house.
Do you know if it's flammable? Have you tested it before?
I mean, it feels like polyester, but I feel like when you get anything hot enough, it'll burn. And like, I don't really want to take that risk. So just roll up your sleeves and then you can take it, right? And you can just like stick it under your arm and be like, fashion. And then could you imagine a drag queen reveal where she like did this? Like she like did the whole number, like to the beginning of the number, like this with her arms tucked in. And then when she like went to go like this, like all these billowing sleeves would come out from underneath her. Like, do you think people would gag at that or do they think it'd be cheap? I would gag if she did it the right way.
If she did it the right way, I think that's the perfect way to put it. Like if it was done the right way, I think that would be really funny.
I think it would be really cool. I've seen some amazing drag reveals before. I've done an amazing drag reveal just once, but I won a crown with it, so it was the right one to do. Yeah, you gotta leave them asking for more, and then you gotta give it to them when you're ready. That's all. So then, right? So I did half a cup of water, and I need double the amount of that of flour. So I need a full cup of flour. But you got to wait for this to get nice and frothy. And that's what I feel like people, they rush. They're like, I'm just going to make this. I'm like, no. Let your yeast activate a minute. Let it live. Let it breathe. And then if you let it breathe, you'll get like a fluffy dough. And if you don't, well, then you just wasted everything. So, yeah. So I'm going to have this measured and ready to go. I'll probably make garlic knots with this.
Ooh.
With this dough, because I already have the dough for our pizza today. So I measured a cup of flour, and when that gets nice and frothy, I'll put it on in. But ready? Here, you ready for the money shot? I love this. So, hold on. My kitchen, always 20,000 things all over the place, as typical is. So I got my baking sheet here. And honestly, I don't use parchment on top of my baking sheets when I make pizza. Do you?
No, not when I'm making pizza. Or when I'm making focaccia too. I put it directly on the tray.
I flour.
Beautiful.
That's it. Just a little flour so that way it's not like stuck. But the amazing part about this yeasted dough and a metal baking sheet is it'll just come right, like it'll just lift right off. Like it's not going to stick to it. If your oven's hot enough. If your oven's not hot enough, then you're going to have a problem. But like, I just turned my oven up to 500. I don't play no games. I used to work in pizzerias and like that brick oven was hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't play no games with your oven. Get it hot, open a window, get some air moving in your kitchen and keep that oven hot if you want that crispity, crunchy crust. Because you're not going to get that with, where'd my dough go? You're not going to get that with a cold oven. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's see how this looks. All right. I love this tool, but it's like a little tricky. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, amazing. Look at her.
That is a beautiful dough right there.
I can't. And you know what I like to do? I like to take some flour and put it on my fingers and my hands. This is why I don't wear nail polish. All these girls like, why aren't you wearing nails? Why aren't you wearing nail polish? Clearly, none of y'all have your food handler certificate because you are not going to get away in a kitchen with no nail polish. I mean, I shouldn't be wearing these rings either, but I'm Italian and it's Sunday. It's the Lord's mission for me. To wear my Sunday best. And then I just like spread it out. And I don't work from the middle. I just work from the edges. Push it out along the edges. And then when it's all done, and this is not done, but when it's done, I like to make little sauce holes. You know what I mean? I learned that working at a pizzeria. I learned that specifically I used to work at a pizzeria owned by my uncle, Udidodor is what we call them, Uncle Vinny, for the rest of y'all. Yes, I have an Uncle Vinny, and probably a cousin Vinny somewhere. You pick an Italian name, I have a relative with it. There's a few Anna Marias, there's a few Vinnies, a few Sals, you know. So what I do is I take my fingers now that the dough's out, and I put a little more flour on them, and even some right on top of the dough here. And I just do this. I call them spider fingers with the little kids at work, because I feel like it's just like creating some more pockets for the sauce. Now, yes, you're kind of deflating the yeast a little bit, but like if you let it rise long enough, you ain't gonna have no problem. And the other day, I did this with the kids at work. And then I was like, it was like only like 3 o'clock or something. I was like, you know what? I'm not ready to eat dinner yet. I'm going to put this in the oven like this. And I'm going to let it rise or rest a little more. We had Sicilian that night. We definitely had a Sicilian pizza. The thing was like up here. Like it was so big and inflated. I was like, heck yeah. It was so delicious. So my boyfriend sure loved it. He ate all of it. So this is my dough. And she's ready for sauce and cheese. Do you want to know what I'm putting on my pizza today?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about this on the other episodes. I grate some cheese myself. I use the low moisture mozzarella, whole milk, not part skim, because you're in quarantine, honey. Have the whole milk.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. Like, honestly, I feel like part skim mozzarella tastes garbagey, so I don't eat it. So I shred it up. You can barely see because this light is so bright. It's, you know, mozzarella. You know what it looks like. It's
sprinkle, you know. Yeah. People will say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Gimme. Yeah. It's so good. I don't mind if I eat it. It's my food. All right. Then I got some mushrooms. I have 2 kinds of peppers. And some shallot and garlic. I love shallot. Shallot has become like my favorite kind of onion, hands down. I don't really have much of a sweet tooth, but I do pick the sweet shallot over any other kind of onion when I have the choice. I love it.
I think shallot is like very underrated. It's so good. It really is.
So good. It's expensive. It can be very expensive. It can be like $4 a pound, which is a lot of money. But if you find it for a little less than that, get it. Like onions can last a while. If you keep them in if you don't put them in a fridge, don't put your onions in a fridge. I wish people learned that. Don't put your onions in a fridge. Let them breathe, Mary. Let them breathe.
You want them in a dark place. Cool, dark place.
Yes. I'll show you. I mean, I should really be moving this camera. Oh, all the lighting's bad. Look how bad my makeup is. That's so fine. I keep them in this cabinet right here. This is all my quarantine stash. My mother gave me all these dried beans. I keep my onions and garlic and potatoes and stuff right in there together. And ginger. I keep my ginger roots in it with them. Honestly, it's the best way to go. My boyfriend is like very guilty of putting his onions in a fridge, putting potatoes in a fridge. See less. That's not what you're supposed to do. So don't do it.
I bet he's really cute though, so it makes up for it.
I mean, sure is. He's kind of like, he looks, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of like Mr. Sheffield in a way, so I'm into it.
Ooh.
Yeah, why not? Also, it's like Mr. Sheffield mixed with Olaf, so
it's a very interesting, like.
So like handsome and funny.
Olaf,
No, don't tell him that he's this Olaf because he will get mad. No. No, it's funny. He's funny. He's funny. So that's what we call him Olaf for, because he's funny. And I kind of want my cousins to call him Olaf from now on too. So, or they should give him a nickname. They call me Jelly Bean because their mother used to call me Jelly Bean when I was a baby, because when I was a baby, I was so small. Uh, he's getting mad. He needs to watch his mouth though in the comments. You better watch your mouth in the comments, sir. And also, I love you, and you're eating this pizza later, so get over it. There it is. This is our dough. I'm gonna dress this pizza. I'm gonna put it in the oven. It's gonna be so good. And the only reason why I talk about him is because I know he's watching. That's it. And he's gonna be on the show in a few weeks too, so you'll get to see him live in a few weeks. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my oven on. I'm gonna dress this pizza. I'm gonna get it in the oven, and then I'm gonna wrap up the show for today. It's a real simple, easy show, y'all. Nice, fast, easy, breezy. Can't wait. All right, so Lindsay, one more time, tell everybody where to find you, even though it's in the banner.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. So, hey guys, my name's Chef Lindsay. Once again, you can find me at Chef Lindsay with an A, HSKY on Instagram. And then I also have a website, www.privatecheflindsay.com. So if you guys want to reach out and say hi, I'd love to hear from you.
Give her love. She is my dismantled sister, even though we were not on the same episode or even filming on the same day, which God bless them for being able to do 2 of those episodes in a day.
They actually did 3, at least the day that I was filming. Supposedly,
mine was 2. That's 3. Crazy. That is wild.
I don't know how they manage that, though.
I don't know. TV people are genius, especially RuPaul. All right. So that's it. Everyone give Lindsay big hugs and love. Book her for your private classes. And honey, I will see you on the social medias, though I take, my separation. But I'll see you at the top of my feed and in my DMs, and we chit chat all the time, like always. All right.
Bye, Cissy. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Lindsay. Thank you. Mwah. Okay, so that was it. Lindsay is amazing, and we love having her on. And so now I got this dough. It's yeasted dough. It looks beautiful. I put all the dots in it. Just take a picture like this. Y'all know I'm on Instagram every week like this. You know, I want to see y'all take your pictures of your food like me. If you have food that you make that you think is delicious and beautiful, take a photo like that and tag me on Instagram and on Facebook, on YouTube, on all the social media platforms. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to model. You got to model your food. If you knew what they did for the food and the pictures on the containers, you would not eat the food. But all right, that's besides the point. All right, I'm getting ready here to make this pizza so I can put it in the oven, because I got some shows coming up later today, and y'all can watch those at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be on Sunday Aesthetic at Sanger Hall. Well, not at Sanger Hall because we can't be there, but it's on their Facebook page and on Space Babe's Facebook page. You'll see that if you go to my Facebook. I'll be sharing all that information with you. You can watch it. Then at 8 o'clock, me and my fellow Miss Stonewall sisters are going to be live on Instagram to do the first ever social media live invasion, which is so amazing. I'm honored to be the first host of a digital Stonewall invasion. So it's going to be amazing. Check us out. We're raising money for the staff at the Stonewall that's been out of work because of COVID, like us all. They have a GoFundMe, so you can donate to the GoFundMe and watch our show. And it's going to be a really exciting night. So please tune in. That's at 8 o'clock tonight on Instagram. And like I said, as always, you can follow me on the social medias and tip me. This is what I've been doing to make my living while being in quarantine, is cooking in my kitchen for y'all. So please follow me. Send me $1, just $1. You don't have to send me a lot of money. Just send me $1. If all of you send me $1 right now, I'd have enough for a bag of chips and a couple of beers, and that's good enough for me. Okay, so please go ahead. I'm not ragging on all of y'all. I love all of y'all. So please go ahead and send me a buck. If you like what you saw today, if you learned something today, send me a buck. If you didn't learn something, send me more than $1 and I will get my life together and we will have fabulous times together on future episodes of Penne for Your Thoughts. Next week, we're going to be doing an episode about grilling without a grill because it's Memorial Day weekend. And I'm really sad I can't go to my family's for our Memorial Day party this year. But I'm still going to be making some dishes that I would have had there anyway from the comforts of my city kitchen. And so tune in, you'll learn something about that. In a few weeks, I've been planning all these episodes. We have episodes lined up. I'm ready to go. This quarantine can last as long as it's going to. I got content for y'all. So you better stay tuned and stay in here. And we're going to have a lot of fun together. I can't wait to eat this pizza. I'm ready to get this number going so I can eat this pizza. Okay. Also, one other thing I didn't shout out, my lovely boyfriend bought me a brand new pizza cutter. So I get to use that today. It's nice and sharp. So don't mess with me, fellas. This ain't my first time making pizza. So here we go. My name is Cissy Walken, and this is my final number of the day or the afternoon, because we're not going to be on here all day, just on the afternoon. I thank you all for watching every week. I have a very loyal group of folks that tune in every week, and people watch this episode later, and they tell me how they've enjoyed it, and I thank you for that. So your support means everything to me. I'm forever grateful. This could have displaced me really hardcore, and because of my friends and family supporting my art and my drag, I get to stay here in New York City, and for that I'm so grateful. And no matter what happens to this city, no matter what changes in New York, I'm still going to be here. We're still going to be doing episodes. We're going to still keep doing drag because this is the best city for drag in the entire country. And we are not going to let that go just because of a pandemic. No, we hold our ground here in New York City. We're New York tough. We're New York smart. And I leave you with this. Oh, shucks. Hold on. My speaker shut off. There we go. Here we go. I leave you with this. I'll do the edit later. It'll look better. Thoughts spreading the news. I believe today. I wanna be a part of it. These emotions are going to stray and step around the heart of it. New York, I want to wake up in the city that doesn't sleep, to find out king of the hill, how they heat, all those counties. Oh, melts in the rain. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can find it there, it's up to you, New York. Pause. Oh my gosh. That's it. That's it. That's how you make pizza a la New York style, and the amount of time it takes you to do Liza Minnelli's New York, New York. This has been a fun episode, and then we have not even hit an hour yet, just a few minutes shy, and that's the good news. I'm doing better. My name is Cissy Walker. Thank you so much for joining me today for Penne for Your Thoughts. We'll see you next week for Grilling Without a Grill for Memorial Day weekend. We're going to turn up. We're going to make some yummy lemonade. We're going to make some corn on the cob and a few other things. So I hope y'all brought, I have to put money in the jar, Aunt Linda? I don't know. I'll put money in the jar later. I need money to put it in the jar. So like I said, send me to Venmos, Miss Cissy Walking across all social media, same handle. And I'm going to handle this all by myself. Just kidding. My roommate and boyfriend are going to enjoy it with me. Okay, y'all. See you next week. I can't end it fast.